Today I want to make breakfast in bed for my phenomenal bride. She's just a wonderful mother and she deserves only the best. There's one little problem though. She sleeps like a log. There she is. She's like a little angel when she sleeps. Nothing wakes her up. Honey? Sweetheart? Baby, I made you breakfast in bed. Happy Mother's Day. I made Belgian waffles for you. I knew this was gonna happen. Honey. Hey friends, thank you for tuning into this channel. Oh man, I left this stupid thing on. I leave it on because when I go out into the public, if I don't have it on, I gotta drive back home, grab my mask. You know, they won't let you into stores without this during this epidemic, at least in New York State. I gotta tell you, having this thing on, I'm kind of used to it. There really is nothing in this world that brings me more pleasure or joy than to smell my own breath for hours on end. I mean, what satisfaction that brings. I really wish that Bob Ross was alive during this corona epidemic.
Well, now when you're out in the public and you got your little mask on, it's okay, you're staying safe, and you're gonna get a little green spearmint left over from the toothpaste in the morning and some burnt sienna from that coffee you had a little earlier, maybe a little mix of garlic from the spaghetti you had for lunch, and just breathe it all in.
Look, if you're tuning into this channel for the first time, my name is Giannaris. I'm a chef of 35 years, a restaurateur of 25 years. And what this channel is all about is learning how to save money, eat healthy, and cook like a pro. If you like what you see, please hit that subscribe button. It's free, and it really helps me out a lot. And each week you'll get a notification about one of the recipes that I put out, usually on Saturday. Today we're gonna make Liege Waffles. Not to be confused with Belgian waffles, because Belgian waffles can be just regular old waffles made in a Belgian waffle maker. Liege waffles, those are the real deal. Those are the waffles that you have when you ski across this country. 90% of the ski resorts have little Belgian waffle huts, and they're dense, they're rich, they're yeasty, they have a wonderful scent and texture. And today we're going to attempt to make these gluten-free. Now, the texture won't be the same because there just isn't enough elasticity in non-gluten flour to give it that density that a regular flour would give to that Liege waffle. But my sons tried them when I made the test batch, and they said, Dad, if you owned a little Waffle Hut and this was what you offered as a gluten-free option, it would kill. It's the most delicious waffle you've ever made, the most delicious waffle we've ever had in our lives. Now, if you decide that you don't want to go gluten-free and you want to make it regular, just go to the website, download the recipe, take out the whole gluten-free section, and just add 2 cups of regular quality organic flour. And you'll have the best Liege waffle you've ever had in your life. So first we're going to start with 1/3 cup of this milk that has been preheated to no more than 103 degrees. And to that, we are going to add 7 grams of activated yeast, 1 tablespoon and roughly 1/2 tablespoon of organic cane sugar. And then to that, we're gonna add just 1/8 teaspoon or a pinch of salt. We wanna whisk that all together, making sure that the sugar is completely dissolved into the milk and that the yeast is fully wet. We wanna melt 2 sticks of butter, but we don't wanna melt it so that it gets excessively hot, because when we add it to our mixture later, it may kill that yeast. There's 3 ways to get pearl sugar, and it's a key ingredient in these waffles. You have to have it. You can buy it from Amazon. I've never found it organic. You can take cubes of sugar and crush them up till they're about the size of the pearl sugar, and that's the easiest way. Or you can make it yourself, and that's really the hardest way. You take a cup, and this is a really crucial recipe. You have to make it exact. You take 1.5 cups of organic cane sugar, kind of flatten that out in the pan. To that sugar, you want to add exactly 2 tablespoons of cold water. And you need to mix this up. While you mix it up, put your flame on the lowest setting that it has. You want to make sure that all of the sugar is covered with the water equally. If you see that there's not enough water, you only add a half teaspoon at a time, because otherwise it'll become a syrup. And basically what you're doing is creating these sugar clumps. You want to kind of keep them small, not too large, and you want to dehydrate the water from the sugar. That's kind of where you're at. Let it dehydrate. It's going to take about a half an hour or so before the water starts to evaporate. But that's what you're looking for. You're looking for little rocks. While our sugar is dehydrating, we're going to start adding our dry ingredients. This flour is Bob's Red Mill 1-to-1. You start with 1 full cup and a half. We're going to use expandex, which is a modified tapioca starch. To that, we're going to add a half a cup. Now we're going to add 2 teaspoons of psyllium husks to this. On the lowest setting, we want to mix in these ingredients together. Now, you want to create a well in the middle of your flour mixture. After about 15 or 20 minutes, the yeast will start to be activated, and you're just going to add that into that well. The yeast water mixture will incorporate itself into the flour mixture, and when it starts to look pretty uniform, then you could turn it up to a medium speed. Break 1 egg in at a time. I'm using extra large eggs because it needs the moisture, and it's going to get that from the egg whites. Once the first egg is completely incorporated into the mix, add a second egg. Once the second egg is completely incorporated into the mix, add a third egg. I would let this whip on its own probably for a good solid 5 or 6 minutes. So I've waited about 10 minutes, given it a little bit of a break, and now we're going to incorporate our melted butter to this, which is no more than 103 degrees. And then just slowly add it to the mix. Put a little bit, give it a chance to incorporate itself into the mix, and then add some more. Go a little faster. What you should wind up with is a very loose batch of mixture that's almost the texture of peanut butter. Once it's covered with a towel, you're going to need it to rest, and it's going to double in size. And that's going to take about an hour, which will give you plenty of time for your pearl sugar to come to room temperature. Do not touch the pearl sugar or move it from the pan until the pan itself is at room temperature. To 1 cup of organic heavy cream, and please use organic heavy cream, you're going to add a 1/4 teaspoon of vanilla extract. You're going to want to add a 1/4 cup of powdered sugar to it. And on Amazon, they sell powdered sugar that is cornstarch free. If you're not into using corn, you can give that one a whirl. I think it's pretty good. And you want to blend this thoroughly till it's really, really rich and thick. So our waffle mix is doubled in size, and it's at this point that we're going to put our dough hook on our food processor. And to this mix, we're going to add 1 teaspoon of vanilla extract and up to 3/4 of a teaspoon of cinnamon. When all goes well, your pearl sugar will be crumbly like this, and when it's cold, that's when you want to take some, and you want to use like a slotted spoon because you don't want to get the shavings in it. You're going to use about 1 cup of pearl sugar and add it to your blender. Finish folding by hand. Now from this mix that we made, you're gonna get 8 to 10 waffles. You're gonna wanna portion them off into 2-inch balls because you don't want them to be too big. They're incredibly rich. Close the lid, count to 5, flip it over. Now on this waffle iron, I have it set to 6, which is the maximum, but you really don't want the waffle to cook more than 2.5 minutes, otherwise it's gonna burn, especially because it's so rich in that pearl sugar. There you have it, the ultimate Liege waffle. Truly an awesome Mother's Day present. The whole family will love it. go to my website, print out the recipe, give this a try. It's worth the effort. Thank you so much for watching.